Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Fully Charged Gardener. Thank you very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. So before we go any further into today's video, I just want to say full disclosure, this Stihl HLA 66 is not my machine. This is a demo machine that has been lent to me by the awesome team at Stihl GB. So thank you very much guys for letting me use this summer and put it to the test. I really do appreciate it. So into today's video. The HLA 66. Now I've been thinking long and hard about the best way to describe this new machine. And I think the best way to describe it is when a car manufacturer, say Audi, brings out a new A3, they're not necessarily going to stick new engines and gearboxes in all those cars, are they? But what they are going to do is they're going to give it a facelift and they're going to add details that improve the user experience. And that is exactly what I think is the best way to describe this HLA 66. Now, the first thing you're going to notice with this machine is the new styling. I mean, it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? That's cool. But what I will say is that's not just style over substance. Now, anybody who's used the HLA 65 will know that the battery in relation to the shaft used to be sort of underslung. It used to sit underneath the shaft. Now, if you look at this, the shaft sits in the center of the battery, and that gives you much better weight distribution. And honestly, when you use this thing all day, which I do, you will notice that it does make a big difference. It's the HLA 65 is still a very light, comfortable machine, but that simple little detail there of putting the battery in line with the center of the shaft, massive difference. That is a really nice touch there. While we're talking about batteries and we're down this end of the machine, we still have the same twin clip system that was on the 65, so nice and easy to get your battery in and out. Speaking of batteries, on this machine, still recommend the AP200 battery. I still use the AP300 battery because it gives me 180 minutes of runtime, which actually when you're running does seem longer. It weighs 1.8 kgs, and I still think it's nicely balanced with that. I don't find it heavy at all. Speaking of balance and weight, this unit weighs 3.8 kgs without anything in it, so it's still a very lightweight machine. Now then, moving down the shaft a little bit, you will notice we have a different style trigger and grip. We've got a nice soft grip handle on here, and that comes in handy when you use the machine in the rain, because you can use this machine in the wet, in the rain. That is something I get asked all the time about the Stihl battery stuff, and it's in their pro lineup, so you can use it in the rain. So anyway, talking of this grip and this trigger, we have a new system. So on the HLA 65, you'll remember you had like a slide lock on the top. This is very different. So even if you press your dead man in now and pull the trigger, nothing will happen. What you have to do is you flick this latch forward and then it will run. So you don't have to hold your finger on that. Once you've pressed it forward, it will hold. So dead man down, flick it forward and it stays, and then it's self-returning. But what's really nice about this is it works if you're left-handed. So it doesn't matter if you're a lefty or a righty. And that again is another detail. What I try and do throughout the day is switch it up a bit, using it both left and right hand, misses, because what that does is it just spreads the load on your shoulders and your back throughout the day and just helps with that fatigue. So nice little tip there. Moving on down the shaft, we have this little clip here, so if you do want to use a harness you can do. Now there's something missing on the shaft, and that is the loop handle. This unit does come with a loop handle. I don't use it, that's just personal preference, but I just wanted to let you know that it does come with one in the box. Now again, moving down the shaft, we have these new stoppers on the grip. And again, talking about working in the rain, when you've got a wet shaft, what this does is it stops your hands from slipping off the shaft when it's wet. Misses. Now then, this is where things get a little bit more familiar. We have the same slip collar for adjustment, like so. We have the same increments of adjustment on the head, 115-degree angle of adjustment. We have the same EC motor, and I will come back to that in a second. We have the same plastic grip handle for adjusting the head, and then we have the same 50cm cutter bar that has 33mm two spacings with a 26mm cutting capacity, 3000 strokes per minute, and it does come with a tip protector. Now, from feedback I received in my last video, I know that some people were disappointed by the lack of 4,000 strokes per minute. They were disappointed that we still only have 3,000 strokes per minute. Now, I have given that as a bit of feedback back to Stihl. I don't know if they listened to me or not. I haven't got that much of an ego, because it would have been nice to see 4,000 strokes per minute. That's sort of becoming sort of a standard when you look at other machines on the market. I can kind of understand why they've done it. With increased speed comes heat. So I wonder if what they've decided to do is stick with this because they didn't want to add any weight to the unit. You know, if they went to 4,000, are they going to have to upgrade the gearbox housing and stuff, which would have added more weight? Would that have put people off? I don't know, because that's where this machine really does come into its own. It's a prosumer unit, so you'll get a lot of people who are non-professionals that will still buy this unit because it is lightweight. It's a really nice lightweight unit to use, same as the 65. That was a lovely lightweight unit. You know, cutter speed is not the end of the world. I've been spoilt because I've got the HSA 94T, which has insane cutter speed, which when you're trimming things like buxus, you really notice it because you can move that little bit faster. The cutter head on this is still dual action, double-sided blades, so it still gives a beautiful cut, as you can see from the Taxus. And I will put a few working shots in here of when I was, you know, trimming my waves and things. So yeah, it still has the same fantastic features. One thing I really like that they've kept from the 65 is this little torque screw here. So what that allows you to do is adjust the stiffness of your head on your shaft, and what that allows you to do, so if you're working up a ladder or just in general really, so you're on the side of your hedge and it's not the right angle, what you can do is you just slip the collar back a little bit, give it a little wiggle, and the head will move nicely. And you can customize that because you can adjust the tension on this screw here. You can customize it to your preferences so it's not too floppy. And then yeah, that just allows you to move the head and place it in all the angles. Speaking of which, you have the same transport position, and that brings the machine down to 125 centimeters, which is really nice if you're storing it in a van, or if it's in your shed and you're hanging it on the wall, it takes up a lot less space. And then when it is fully extended, 205 centimeters. So still a really nice compact unit when it's folded, but a useful length when it is extended. That's what she said. So I suppose all that's left to do really is give it the fully charged gardener rating. Now, if you remember, the ratings are: fully charged is go out and buy one, a half charged battery is shortlist it, consider it, a dead battery is leave it on the shelf, don't touch it. Now, this machine for me, and I've thought long and hard about this summer, I'm going to give it a half charge rating. And I'll explain that. The design changes are really nice, but in terms of aesthetics, it's a hedge trimmer, not the end of the world. The detail of putting the battery in line with the shaft, absolutely fantastic. Changes the weight distribution of the machine and makes a huge difference. Really like that. Love the new trigger design and the grippy handle, brilliant. This for me is what brings it down to a half charge rating. I think it should have been 4,000 strokes per minute, or at least have the option to use an eco mode, say 3,000 strokes per minute, and then your normal run speed would be 4,000 strokes per minute. Like I say, 4,000 seems to be sort of the benchmark in terms of speed. In denser hedges, that little bit of extra speed is noticeable, and the half charge rating means that it's still an absolutely fantastic piece of kit, and you should really consider it if you're looking for a lightweight hedge trimmer that has really good runtime. I mean, your runtime options are endless really. You can run anything from AP 200 battery right up to the backpack battery with the AP adapter if you want to. And like I say, superb piece of kit. I haven't looked at the retail price on this actually. I'll put that below now actually. So yeah, it's a great all-round piece of kit. I just think that they missed an opportunity to put the higher speed in there. I think that would have made it more appealing to people, but it is overall a fantastic piece of kit. So thank you very much for tuning in again, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this review video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, and if you have any feedback, stick it in the comments section below. But thank you very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. And once again, thank you so much to the awesome team at Stihl GB for getting this unit out to me this summer and letting me test it. Cheers, guys.